Welcome to the deep dive. Trying to figure out LinkedIn, it can feel like navigating a maze sometimes, right? There's just so much advice out there, and frankly, a lot of it seems to conflict. You've gathered a whole load of material for us, articles, notes, some research bits, and today, we're going to dive into all that, really try and cut through the noise and see what the sources say actually works.
That's the plan. Based on everything we've got here, our mission today is pretty straightforward. Expose some of those big LinkedIn myths that just keep circulating, and, more importantly, replace them with strategies that, according to this material, genuinely work. Think of it as a shortcut, to being truly effective on there.
Okay, sounds good. Let's unpack some of these ideas that seem so common, but looking at this stuff just don't really hold up. First one, and I see this everywhere, this intense pressure to post something every single day.
Ah, yes. The sources actually call that the daily posting delusion. And the reality, well, what the analysis suggests is that just flooding feeds, especially with kind of mediocre content, it just leads to audience fatigue. One source even pointed to data showing engagement can drop for daily posters compared to people posting, say, 2 or 3 really good things a week. So the material really emphasizes quality, thoughtful posts a few times weekly, and also engaging meaningfully on other people's stuff. That's seen as way more powerful than another generic update every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want people to actually, want to see your post, not just scroll past. Okay, building on that, here's another big one. It feels like a major mindset shift is needed for this. Thinking LinkedIn is only useful when you're job hunting.
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating how the material frames this. Using LinkedIn only when you need something, like a digital SOS signal. The sources compare it to only calling friends when you need to borrow money.
Right. Doesn't feel great.
Exactly. It feels transactional. Instead, the sources really push this idea of treating LinkedIn like your professional garden. You have to tend it regularly, water it with updates, fertilize it with insights, year-round. Doing that consistently builds your professional brand over time. And that's what attracts meaningful connections, brings unexpected opportunities. Whether you're actively looking for a job or not, it's proactive.
I really like that professional gardening analogy from the source. It's very apt. And, well, speaking of connections, there's that other obsession, getting 500 plus.
Right.
That magic number.
Yeah, the sources are pretty blunt about that one. They basically say chasing that 500 plus badge, it's like collecting, Pokemon cards or something that just end up clogging your feed.
Right.
A huge network often just means more noise, more irrelevant posts. You don't even remember who half these people are. The focus, according to everything here, should absolutely be on cultivating meaningful, relevant connections. Quality, not just quantity. Always.
Okay, so if it's not just a job board, and connections are about quality.
Yeah.
What about the profile itself? Is it just like paste your resume and you're done?
Definitely not. That's another big misconception the material tackles. Apparently, just copying your resume is like, well, one source said wearing your accountant outfit to a cool networking party. Technically okay, but misses the point entirely.
Okay, yeah.
Your profile, the sources argue, should be more like the Netflix adaptation of your career story. Use that about section to show some personality, your motivations, the impact you have. Craft a compelling narrative. Use good professional images. It's about building an identity, not just listing tasks.
The Netflix adaptation. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the green open to work frame? Seems like the default move when you're looking.
This was pretty surprising, actually, reading through this material.
Yeah.
One source literally calls it the open-to-work frame of shame.
Wow.
Yeah. While it feels like you're signaling availability, the sources suggest it can, unfortunately, make candidates look a bit desperate to some recruiters. And maybe even more critical, one source mentioned some recruiters actually filter out people using that frame when they search. They prefer candidates who are maybe looking more quietly or those they find through engagement.
So it could actually hurt your chances.
It seems that way, yeah. The suggested alternative is the stealth approach. Use that open to recruiters only, setting it's private. Only recruiters on their specific platform see it. And then you focus on proactive engagement and optimizing your profile. Gets you much further, apparently.
That's a really powerful insight from the sources. Okay, finally, let's touch on automation. That siren song of sending out tons of generic messages.
Ah, yes. The fast track to being ignored, as the material puts it. Look, those generic automated messages, especially the ones that mess up your name or are clearly just templates, they're so transparent, it's spammy. And LinkedIn itself is apparently getting better at penalizing that kind of behavior. The whole point should be building real, meaningful relationships, right? Not just collecting connections like they're Beanie Babies again.
Right. Another Beanie Baby analogy.
Exactly. The material really hammers home the human touch. One genuine, customized connection request that's worth way more than 100 ignored automated messages. It builds trust, starts a real conversation.
So pulling all these insights together then from all the sources you brought, what's the sort of core new strategy they're recommending?
It boils down to something pretty simple but powerful. Be human, not desperate. That means, share thoughtful, quality stuff maybe 2, 3 times a week. Cultivate connections that actually mean something based on relevance. And tell your authentic professional story on your profile with personality. That's how you unlock what LinkedIn can really do for your career.
That was a fantastic deep dive, really cutting through those common myths using the material you shared. Feels much clearer now.
Yeah, hopefully. By shifting away from that frantic quantity-first mindset to something more strategic, more authentic, you really can advance your career goals much more effectively using the platform.
And maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. Straight from the sources, now go forth and connect. But please, for the love of everyone's feed, maybe rethink those daily "I'm humbled and excited to announce" posts.
Oh, please, we're collectively begging you.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We really hope these insights help you rethink your own approach.